You know, when you were younger, you were impressed by certain titles, weren't you? You know, the sort of thing, chumps. And you looked at things and you thought, oh, wow, that sounds a great job, or, you know, whatever. And you think, wonder what that power means. It's like standing here at 10 Downing Street in the very heart of London. We've all seen it on the television. We've all seen it for many years. It's the epicenter of what goes on over here in the United Kingdom, whether it be victory, whether it be disaster. It all happens on these steps behind you. And of course, when you get here and you're a little bit older and you work here on a regular basis, the things just shrink down, don't they? And the interest may go a little bit, you know. It's still interesting to come here because, of course, it's, well, where history's made. And of course, you could say the same thing of somewhere like the Bank of England. Now, I've met many of the governors and interviewed many of them as the Bank of England governors. But now, even they apparently don't want you if you're white. As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you, chums, from the very heart of 10 Downing Street. A little bit quiet here at the moment, as you can imagine. It's always busy though, but it's always good to share where I'm working from. And thank you as ever for your support with all the recent videos. Many of you enjoyed Jill the Windmill Girl. Thank you for that. She's delighted. I've sent it on. I've sent your comments on, so do keep them coming. If you haven't seen it yet, a wonderful lady, wonderful character, and you're very kind, by the way, about my interviewing skills. That's very sweet. I'm like you though, I am fascinated by the answers. So yes, you know, I ask a question and sit back. That's polite conversation, isn't it? It's a little bit like you and I here right now. Well, you could put the tea down. I'm not bothered. No, I don't. But you know what I mean? It's just polite conversation to have that sort of level of stuff. What's interesting though is this. You see, as I said, if you were wanting to get on in your career and for some explicable reason you might want to work at the Bank of England, well, maybe you could, or maybe you couldn't. Remember, just behind me here at number 11 Downing Street, Rachel Reeves claims that she was there for, well, some considerable length of time, but then she's never really been good with figures, right? So we have to take all of the things that she says with a huge pinch of salt. But now they've got an ad online which is very offensive indeed. If, like me, for instance, you are British born and of fair skin. You see, they're looking for an intern for around about 8 to 5 weeks, 5 to 8 weeks, something like that. And the bottom line is you get £96 per day. Not bad, eh, to learn the skill. This is a sort of skill that you pick up apparently once you've finished your, you know, your sort of college bits, and you might want to go and see what it's like working in the real industry. A marvelous opportunity, in my opinion, that really should be open to you, anybody at any age. You're never too old to start, and you're never too old to have a new look at life, right? Oh well, not only is there an age restriction, but you have to come from a black heritage background, right? Now, I don't care, as I've often said here on the show, where you're from, but everything should be open to all. That's the thing. I don't believe in, you know, we're all winners. No, there's winners and losers. Life is about that. I contacted the Bank of England and said, is this correct? Some in and ahhing, and well, you know, they'd have to check, you know, the usual tissue of lies that happens. Now, this is becoming more and more frequent. As you can imagine, we've seen things like this with TfL, with various industries, and they all want to tick box because they're frightened, of course, of, oh, it doesn't fit the remit where we are right now with the industry, etc. When I talk to my friends of different nationalities, they're equally embarrassed because then they feel that they're put in a box and being given the opportunity simply because that particular company has tick boxed them into the job, not because they've got there through high merit. In life, as I'm sure you'll agree, you can get through if you really try hard enough, connect enough, mix enough from whatever background. But things like this, which is despicable when you think about it, from the Bank of England to put this up in this day and age and then think that this is acceptable, well, you just kind of understand what we're now living under here in the United Kingdom. And people behind here in 10 Downing Street should really come out and get this reversed, because quite frankly, no winners will come out of anybody who applies for this particular job. I would like to speak to the Governor of the Bank of England, but guess what? He's too busy. Of course, they're always too busy when they're about to be called out. Anybody else agree? Neil Shawn, 10 Downing Street, London.